My name is Shawn Askinosie, and I am the founder and CEO of Askinosie Chocolate.
How would you define culture?
How I would define culture, I think would be different for my company than it would have been, say, for my law firm 10 years ago. But the culture at our chocolate factory is the culture in many ways of a family, because we spend a lot of time together and we spend a lot of time caring about each other. It's not perfect because families aren't perfect. We all know that. But we have people in the company who are really gifted at caring about other people. And so we let that rise up. There are two people I can think of specifically who make sure that at birthdays there are cards and that they're recognized and that everybody signs their card. And you might think, oh, well, that's no big deal. But just recognizing the person's birthday, but then when it's a person's work anniversary, so their anniversary of working with us, we celebrate that in a big way. We have the food that they want after our Tuesday huddle, which is a staff huddle for everybody in the company to take an hour and a half outside of the day to talk about everything going on in the company. And that takes time away from production, yes, but now everybody gets to know what's going on. But at the conclusion of that, we'll celebrate someone's work anniversary, and they sit right there and they sit in a chair after the meeting, and we go person to person and they tell that person who's sitting there what they love, admire, or respect about that person. And let me tell you something, having sat in that chair, that is not easy to sit there and listen to someone tell you why they love you or why they respect you. And we do that for everyone. It's super powerful. And the reason I use that story is because it highlights the culture of who we are, because we care about the people, and we care about the people who work here first, before customers, before farmers, before anyone. Why is that? It's because if we care about the people we work with first, then we don't need to worry about caring about customers, because they're going to care about customers. They're going to care about farmers. They're going to care about the students at Boyd and at Pipkin, because we want to nurture the care and respect that we have for the people we work with. And I believe that applies to my business just as I think it applies to the biggest businesses in this country. And I'm not alone in thinking that, and I've learned a lot of that from Jack Stack. The other thing about culture is we have a person who works here, and she's called our Chief Kinship Officer. And kinship is a very important word to me, and I learned about that word from Father Greg Boyle, who is a Jesuit priest in Los Angeles, and he works with gangs in Los Angeles, and he wrote a book that really impressed me called Tattoos on the Heart. And he's worked with gangs in this very dangerous part of Los Angeles for over 2 decades. And his big word is kinship. And I love that word because what it means is it takes away this notion of employer, employee, of vendor and supplier and buyer and seller. And what we want is to have a relationship. And that's something that permeates our entire company. With farmers that we work with, we want to have a kinship with them. It's why I spend so much time visiting them. I just got back from Tanzania, and this Saturday I'm going to Ecuador, because we want to develop that notion of kinship with farmers. It'll be my 31st origin trip, visiting farmers around the world since I started this business. And we have kinship with the students at Boyd. We have kinship with the students at Pipkin. And I'm sure if you were to ask those students or ask those teachers, they would agree with you that kinship is what this is about. And so we hired Missy Gellner to sort of formalize this idea of culture in the idea of kinship, and how we can just check ourselves and make sure that we're doing what we say that we do, and that we're involving all people in the company who want to be involved in those projects that we're undertaking in our neighborhood and in various parts of the world, where we work on community development projects where we buy cocoa beans.